All the day's highlights, plus a look back at the Chiefs coming up on News 5 at 10.
Kansas Cityans prepare for 95. A look at some surprising resolutions at 10. Good evening, I'm Russell Kinsall. Coming up on News 5 at 10, a shocking start to the new year for Kansas City Police. 3 officers hit by gunfire. We'll have the latest on the search for suspects. And 4 people are dead after fire sweeps through a hospital in Virginia. We'll have an update on the cause. And Katie Horner is checking on a chilly start to the work week. Katie?
That's right, Russell. Finally, a lot of school children and parents are getting ready to go back to work or school. I'll have your forecast for the week ahead coming up tonight on News 5 at 10.
Happy New Year, Kansas City, from everyone at KCTV 5. Now your local news.
Hello, I'm Russell Kinsall. Coming up on News 5 at 10, gunfire hits 3 Kansas City police officers. Tonight, police search for a suspect while residents stay on guard. And terror in a Virginia hospital. Fire forces patients from 3 floors. We'll have those stories, plus Katie Horner's forecast, straight ahead.
In Kansas City, 5 stands for news. This is News 5 at 10.
Good evening and Happy New Year. I'm Russell Kinsall. A very dangerous New Year's Eve for Kansas City police officers. 3 were shot by gunfire late last night during 2 disturbances. Police have 1 suspect, but are searching for more. The first shots targeting police officers happened around 10:30 at 37th and Prospect Avenue. 2 officers patrolling the area stopped a pedestrian they spotted carrying a gun. Police say the man turned and opened fire.
1 officer was shot in the chest. However, he was wearing his bullet-resistant vest. The other officer was shot in the lower extremities of his body, but he's in fair condition.
The officer shot in the chest, the bulletproof vest saved his life?
Most definitely saved his life.
The officers fired back, hitting the suspect twice. He's in the hospital tonight under police guard. The second shooting occurred at 23rd and Mersington on the city's east side. An officer was shot in the leg. After backup officers arrived on the scene, they were halted by gunfire as well. An armored police car had to be called in to rescue the officers. After the area was secured, police searched for the suspects, but found nothing. The shootings are bringing strong emotional reaction from those who live nearby. News 5's Krista Kloss talked to residents in the area who say they're angered by the violence against those who uphold the law.
It scared me because I usually peep out the window when I hear helicopter. But I'm scared as they shoot through the window.
Lucille Fields lives on the 2300 block of Mersington Street, the scene of a gun battle involving police last night.
Oh, it's so sad, and they're trying to protect us. It really hurts because I just hate to hear that about a policeman get hurt when someone call them to help you like that, and then they're going to turn on him or them.
Ruth Austin is an advocate against crime and urban violence. She lives in the 4963 neighborhood. She, too, is angry, but hopes the attacks will bring people to their feet.
I'm hoping it makes people angry again. You know, when our protectors start getting terribly endangered, life-threatening, then that makes a time, I think, for citizens to say, we can help in this, and we've got to help.
Anti-crime advocate Alvin Brooks agrees and sees 1995 as a chance to make good on the past.
We've gotten a number of calls today just asking what happened and what are we going to do and what can we do, and 95 ought to be better than 94, but it doesn't seem like it, and this kind of thing.
Brooks took part in a prayer vigil last night about 5 blocks from one of the shooting incidents. The mission of the vigil, to focus on a safer year ahead.
We've got a problem, and together I think that with the right kind of leadership, people who really have a genuine concern and are willing to go all out to try to do some things and make some changes, I think we could, 95 can still be one of the years with fewer acts of violence.
Krista Kloss, News 5.
Police aren't releasing any more information about the shootings other than to say the officers' injuries are not life-threatening. Another attack against police. In California, gunfire forces a police helicopter to the ground. The chopper was checking reports of shots fired at a party last night when the shooter or shooters opened fire at the sky. One shot hit a police officer in the foot. Another hit the chopper's fuel tank. The pilot had to land on an intersection. Police are still looking for suspects. Back in Kansas City, Kansas, a 15-year-old is behind bars tonight, waiting to hear if he'll be charged for the shooting death of his 4-year-old cousin. Adam Christopher Ruiz was killed late Friday night at 47 South 8th Street in KCK while his parents were away. The young boy was shot in the chest while his babysitter was in another room. Police say his 15-year-old cousin shot Adam because the 4-year-old was harassing him. Tonight, the 15-year-old is in the Wyandotte County Jail. He's expected to be in court Tuesday. 2 years ago, a St. Louis mother buried her young son. He was killed by a drunk driver. Today, his mother is trying to turn a tragedy into a life-saving lesson. Dan Buck explains.
Are you scared of flying?
This was taken by his dad. He had good grades and got a trip to Chicago to see his idol, Michael Jordan.
The public service announcement is gripping, and it's hard for Louise Chambers to watch, to see her son full of life and to recall that dreaded Christmas Eve 2 years ago.
Oh, I had to plan things that you just don't think about planning. It was 2 years ago today. It was his funeral.
As a member of the Jefferson County MAD chapter, Louise is hopeful this new national PSA will send a clear and chilling message to not only those who drink and drive, but to those who allow it.
Sometimes you're not able to make the judgment if you can take the car keys. And that's why this campaign is slated to reaching out to the friends who are there with you if you're drinking and plan to drive. It would make a big difference. I think if just one person, as a result of what we do, if just one person stops somebody, then that will stop some other family from going through what we've been through.
The public service announcement will be broadcast on television stations nationwide. Checking news around the world, fire engulfed a New Year's Eve party at a Belgian hotel. 5 people were killed, 140 others hurt. Authorities say the fire started about an hour before the New Year at a hotel in Antwerp. Witnesses say they heard an explosion in the hotel lobby, and fire quickly spread to the ballroom. Many of those who survived the blaze are in very critical condition tonight. Tragedy at a Virginia hospital. 4 people are dead after fire sweeps through 3 floors of a 6-story medical center. The fire began just after 9 last night. Police say the blaze started in a patient's room and spread quickly to 2 other floors. 5 other people are being treated for smoke inhalation. Investigators are searching for the cause. Turning to news overseas, heavy fighting in Chechnya, and it appears Russian troops are gaining control of the capital, Grozny. The troops surrounded the presidential palace and are in control of several neighborhoods in Grozny. The Russian government press service claims the Chechen president has fled the palace and that Chechen guerrillas are using chemical warfare to keep Yeltsin's army from advancing. Meantime, in Washington, incoming Senate Majority Leader Bob Dole told CBS Face the Nation that the fighting is a big threat to Russian democracy.
And this is a no-win situation for Yeltsin, and it's an indication that democracy may be on the brink of failure. All the things we've talked about, the aid to Russia, so there are a lot of high stakes involved. On the other hand, I think you can't just dismiss the integrity of territorial integrity that Yeltsin's talking about, but I think it's the use of force that will turn off the American people and the American Congress.
Russia's defense minister says it will take 5 to 6 days to completely claim the Chechen capital of Grozny. Just ahead on News 5, we all make them, but do New Year's resolutions really work? Kansas Cityans offer a little perspective. And here's a bundle of joy you won't want to miss. We'll introduce you to the first baby in 1995.
And the first week of 1995 promises to be very, very cold. I'll have your forecast for you in just a moment.
And what does the future hold for the Chiefs after the disappointing loss in Miami? Well, the answers might surprise you. That story's coming up in sports.
The next 2 weeks will be marked with inaugurations all across the country. In Jackson County today, Catherine Shields was sworn in as the county's executive. Shields is replacing Marcia Murphy, who lost an election bid for U.S. Senate. Today, Shields made a firm promise to taxpayers to eliminate waste and keep them informed during her term.
It means communicating about government, its successes, its goals, and most difficult, its limitations. People must know what their government can and cannot accomplish. We as elected officials do the public a disservice when we promise what we cannot deliver.
The year will bring a lot of changes to government from Washington to Kansas City. Earlier tonight, we asked News 5's political analyst Steve Glorioso what he thought of the future in both Kansas and Missouri with the Republican-controlled Congress.
The Democrats run the government in Missouri and Republicans in Kansas. I think they're equally nervous about the Republican Congress balancing the budget on the backs of state and local governments. They don't mind the changes that are coming in Congress, but I think they're very concerned that they're going to get new responsibilities, but without the money to fulfill them. And so I think they're all have some hope that they can get more control, but are very concerned that they may not have the money to do much with it.
Glorioso is also the publisher of the New Times. Along with the new year comes those promises we all make to ourselves and most often never keep. Officially, they're called New Year's resolutions, but as News 5's Laura White found, unofficially, they become broken promises.
What's your New Year's resolution? I need to find a new roommate. That's like the only thing on my mind right now.
What's wrong with your old one?
Well, she's moving out. She's going to move back in with her mom. I mean, I love her to death. She's a great person and everything, but it's just, we're not going to live together anymore, and I can't afford to live on my own, so... If anybody is out there, I'm a really nice girl, okay? You can borrow all my CDs and I'll drive you around.
She wants a roommate. Guess what he wants?
Not to chew gum.
Why not?
Because my dad doesn't like me chewing gum.
Does it have something to do with cavities?
Yeah.
Some New Year's resolutions are a bit unusual, but for the most part, people either want to lose weight...
I'll lose about 15 pounds.
Get back in shape.
To get back in shape, I'm in the Marine Reserves and really think I should get back in shape.
Or maybe work out a little more at the gym.
Do the workout thing. Just look better for the women.
This lady's never made a New Year's resolution before.
So I guess I'll make one. I'll try to lose a few pounds this year.
That's the one everybody's.
I know, that's everybody's. Well, I'll try to lose a few more than they do then.
Does anybody want to do something other than lose weight?
Is to read better books, good books. Read good books. Read books that are maybe good for me instead of, just any old book.
The interesting thing about New Year's resolutions is that we're all looking for a way to improve upon ourselves. Some are searching the pages of self-help books. But have you ever noticed that we abandon our resolutions shortly after we make them?
Do you remember last year's resolution?
Yeah.
What was it?
To be a better person.
Did you achieve your resolution?
Somewhat.
So she's a somewhat better person. What about this guy?
Pretty much stay the way I am. I like myself.
Be more godly in my Christian behavior towards others and lose weight.
The classic one.
The classic one, yes, definitely.
What was yours last year?
Boy, I couldn't remember because I'm sure I didn't keep it.
Oh, well, for those who don't keep New Year's resolutions for 1995, better luck next year. Laura White, News 5.
Now, some of the other popular responses we heard today, people want to manage their money better, and some want to play as hard as they work. Here's some good news that will keep one mother smiling all year long. Meet the first Kansas City area baby born in 1995. Little Austin Howell came into the world at 1:30 this morning. He was born at Olathe Medical Center, but icy conditions almost kept Mom from even getting to the hospital.
Well, we only slid once, and that was at a red light, and we couldn't stop, so we had to go through the red light. But it's a good thing we had that cop escorting us, or we probably would have got hit or something, I don't know. Yeah.
Austin's arrival this morning was a bit of a surprise. Angela Howe says she wasn't expecting him for another 3 weeks. Next on News 5, Katie Horner is trying to deliver some warmer weather to melt some of this snow. We'll see if she can. Her forecast is next.
And I'm Lee Fleisig in South Florida, where the Chiefs season has come to an end. Was it a success or a failure? We'll hear from the players coming up in sports.
Here's some homework for kids heading back to school this week. Sweaters, coats, mittens, run down the list.
I tell you what, I think you hit them all. Stay inside if you're not bundled up well, because it is going to be blustery cold on Tuesday when most of the kids head back to school. We actually get a little bit of a break. By tomorrow, we might warm up above freezing.
Oh, great.
For a moment.
Thanks.
Still not going to get out of the 30s, though. And if you like it cold, and if you're just a little bit crazy, you might have done what these guys were doing today. This was a couple of people taking jet skiing out at the lake and also going into the water in their wetsuits, just all sorts of crazy things today. I guess it just wasn't cold enough. They had to find a way to get a little bit colder. I think the jet skis had it all to themselves, though, today out there on the lake. Our high today was 21 degrees. Our low this morning was 7. The normal high is 35. We'll be back to that tomorrow. The normal low is 18 degrees. This is what's happening right now at the airport. The temperature is 13 degrees. The humidity is 74%. The wind chill 6 degrees. The barometer is falling, and the winds are southwest at 9 miles per hour. Using Neighborhood Weather Network, we will head out to Grandview and show you what's happening. The information coming from Belvedere Elementary. Right now in Grandview, the winds are northwest at about 6 miles per hour. The current temperature is only 14 degrees. A little bit of a wind, so the wind chill is at 6. Right now, the humidity is 93%, and the barometer is 29.12 inches. Moving on and showing you what's going on with the jet stream pattern. Now, this is the normal jet stream pattern with it moving and meandering across the Canadian border, holding the coldest air to the north and the milder air to the south. But in the wintertime, we sometimes see some dips along the jet stream, and that's what we're going to have with the current jet stream pattern like this, ridging high to the west, just pulling that air down, very cold air now filtering down across the north central and east central United States, and that is what we're going to start to feel. Not only today, a little bit of a break, but this next push of Arctic air is going to come in, and you're going to feel that by Tuesday. Right now, we continue to have mostly clear skies. As we put this into a 12-hour loop, you'll see the storm that we had yesterday continue to push off to the east, and we've had clear skies ever since that storm moved off. We're going to see clear skies again tomorrow, plenty of sunshine during the day, but then we're going to see increasing cloudiness as this next Arctic push comes all the way down to Kansas during the day. So we'll start out with southwest winds in between the two fronts, and then when this front moves through, our winds will shift around to the northwest, allowing that cold air to come down as the next Arctic front moves through Kansas City. And this one coming through dry. We don't expect too much precipitation, though there is a chance when this front comes on top of us that we could see a stray flurry, not only tomorrow night, but we could also see a flurry on Tuesday. But we're not expecting any accumulation from that. High temperatures tomorrow could make it up to a balmy 35 degrees, and it will feel balmy at 35 when you consider what it's going to be like on Tuesday. Your forecast for tonight, clear and cold, the low dropping down to 10. Out in the suburbs, in the city, it could only stay around 15 degrees. Southwest winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, if it gets above freezing, we melt some of the snow. The winds will shift around from the southwest to 10 to 20, becoming northwest by later in the day. Here's your 5-day forecast. One snowflake for Monday night and Tuesday, indicating a chance for some flurries. The temperature dives on Tuesday. Oh, my goodness, it's going to be very cold with the winds between 10 and 20 miles per hour, and the temperature 17 means on Tuesday during the day in the sunshine, it's going to feel as if it's -5, -10 degrees. We warm up a little bit on Wednesday, stay partly cloudy, and our next chance of measurable precipitation will be on Friday when there's a chance of some mixture of ice and snow again.
No doubt winter has arrived, though.
It is here. It's caught up finally with the calendar.
All right, thanks, Katie.
Sure.
Up next, life goes on in the NFL despite the Chiefs' loss yesterday. Coming up in sports, Neil Jones has the highlights and reaction from a day of surprises.